Go, Gamefront.
Update.
Gamefront.
Update.
Gamefront.
Update.
Gamefront.
Update.
Gamefront.
Update.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
Wow, that was incredible. Mitch and Zach could never get it as well as you just got it there.
No, I don't
Finally.
think so. No. I can't.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think they could get it.
No, I
That's
definitely don't think I would be in their league.
I think we're both in agreement. Both of them put together can't really hold a candle to Danny's. Where did you learn to do that, Danny?
Watching videos on YouTube of these people.
So we're going to do Gamefront Update. We're going to do a little update to let you know what we know. And there are knowns and there are unknowns and there are not known unknowns. And we're going to get as much of all of them out as possible. We're going to try to explore some unknown unknowns right now.
Good. I'm glad that was clear to everybody. Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe we'd do some explanations and then some comments and then maybe even some news about things. I don't know. Whatever we want.
Yeah, I think that's great. It's Gamefront Update. This is just a safe space for us to talk about truths and unknown unknowns. And I can't wait to get to the unknown unknowns.
I think we are.
First, we got to get
nothing but truths and unknown unknowns. To be fair, that is just who we are. But go ahead.
Oh, there's also just outright lies, but this is an outright lie-free zone. They can be comfortable coming out and knowing that they aren't going to be outright lied to. You're either going to get truths or you're going to get unknown unknowns. Those are not outright lies. Okay? So,
speaking of the truth, we were just discussing the cheap rent on this office that we acquired, which we're definitely in.
Definitely in. That's why we look like we're in one place with the right lighting that is seamless over us.
Yeah, exactly.
There was an earthquake yesterday, and it was pretty big. It was
an actual earthquake in Los Angeles yesterday.
Oh, we've been having tons of them. I'm pretty sure the big one's coming. This is the fourth. It's not good news, but in the big scheme of things,
it's not good news at all. There's no
difference. We're going to live, according to, I think, Trump last night in the Elon Musk interview, and I'm not getting political here. He just said, humans have 100 to 500 years left. And I think he's right. In the big scheme of things, what is one or two big ones in California? You know what I mean?
At least he's self-aware of the damage he's causing to the... Anyway, we shouldn't get political.
Yeah. It's not political. It's just that the world's coming to an end. And yeah, there's been four not major earthquakes, but larger than usual earthquakes. And that's just in the last month. If you probably look at the last 6 months, I would say there's probably 10 pretty big earthquakes. But yesterday there was a 4 point. They originally called it a 4.7, but it turned out they downgraded it to 4.4, which isn't that big of an earthquake, but it was in the heart of downtown LA basically. And it was have you heard of the San Andreas fault?
Yeah, that's the one that the movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is based off, the video game San Andreas.
I don't think. I don't know if the San Andreas video game has anything to do with that.
It's named after it, isn't it? But
that's the longest fault line, and everybody talks about that being the big one because when it goes off, it's going to be what we call a mega quake all the way up the border, and it's going to do a lot of devastation. But they have said that it'll probably be if a 7.5 or whatever hits that, probably 3,000 people dead. This one is a much smaller fault line, but it goes through downtown LA. And this area, and if it goes off, they expect it to be closer to 30,000 people dead, and it will be crazy. Now, that an earthquake of that size only happens every couple thousand years, and I don't know when the last one was, but I saw pictures from the 1987 earthquake there that was I think it was a 5.9 or something, and it looked like hell on earth, the earth had cracked open. It was crazy. I never even knew about that earthquake. But anyways, yesterday we had a 4.4, and it's right on that fault line that nobody ever talks about. But
don't they say that it's better to have lots of small earthquakes because it relieves some of the pressure in the plate?
That's what I thought, but a couple years ago I went to a TED Talk style event at
not TED Talk.
It was
Talk.
from it was
Fake TED Talk.
It was a fake TED Talk. It was an unknown TED Talk. It was at the Natural History Museum, and once a month they would talk. Every year they have a different thing. I think I've talked about it before. The previous one that I went to was like the science behind science fiction. It was pretty cool. A few years ago, it was natural disasters. They talked about flooding, fires, this and that, but one of them was earthquakes. And I had always thought, like you said, like obviously little tiny earthquakes will alleviate the pressure building up, and they said it's completely unrelated, and the real only thing that you can see is that the numbers are grossly on, like, I don't have the real numbers in front of me, but what they were saying is like 1.0 on the Richter scale, there will be 1,000 number 1 earthquakes to every 100 number 2 earthquakes to every 10 number 3 earthquakes, and it just goes exponentially. So it's not a matter of it relieving, it's just that you're going to have so many smaller ones for every bigger one that you have. And they are unrelated as of when. It's just more of the amount. There's going to be way more 1.0s than there are 2.0s, and it goes all the way up to the scale of like once in a very long period of time will you get a 10. I don't think there's ever been a 10.0 on the Richter scale. I think that's just the world cracking.
Well, everybody would be dead. But anyway. Well, hopefully there's no more earthquakes for a while.
I agree.
But
I got earthquake insurance, Danny, and I just paid it like 3 days ago. So
how expensive is earthquake insurance when you live on 2 fault lines?
It's not that expensive, but it's really hard to get. Like, you have to jump through hoops. You can't just automatically get it. You have to get it.
Do they have that clause in the thing which just says doesn't cover acts of God, which includes earthquakes, so that it's earthquake coverage that doesn't include earthquakes?
I'm required by law as a renter in California and maybe it's because I'm in a rent control unit. There's possible other reasons, but I have to have renter's insurance, and I can pick any kind that I want. But I have to have renter's insurance for the building. No renter's insurance covers earthquakes in California. You have to get a secondary company to add on to your contract, which is difficult. And then a couple of years ago I had it and I paid my regular rent insurance, but my what do you call it, the premium or whatever to keep my insurance. But unless I go to the second page and pay individually for my earthquake insurance, they're not going to give me any reminders. They're just going to cancel it, so I don't have it anymore. And so I constantly have to set like Google alerts in my calendar every year to pay for it so that it doesn't
yeah, I mean, I was going to ask, like, what nutcase is doing earthquake insurance in California? That just seems like it's a deck of cards just waiting to collapse. Like, business is great for as long as there's never an earthquake. You're just raking in money. You never have to pay out because nobody, like, but the day there's an earthquake, a big earthquake, that business is just going to collapse immediately.
Yeah.
And nobody's going to get any payouts anyway. Like, well, unless maybe they do. I don't know how it works, but that just sounds like a risky venture to me.
I'm going to get my payout, Danny. Don't try to jinx me on this.
Well, I guess I just had a very dark thought, but maybe most people die so they don't have to pay out anyway. Like, I don't know.
Isn't it pretty to think so, Danny?
Fucking hell. Anyway, we should probably talk about Gamefront. So the first thing we should bring up is Elden Ring co-op.
Mm-hmm. We have been dying to play the new DLC, but the gods of the Elder Rings are just putting every roadblock ahead of us that they can. We had a guy that joined Mission Improbable, showed up on the first day of rehearsal with a Dark Souls, something, whatever the name of the DLC is, Astoria, the DLC, and I was so impressed. I mean, I was about to ask the guy out on a date or something. We talk about how much we like the Soul series, and then he says afterwards, he's like, "But do you use summons on in Elden Ring?" I was like, "Not if I don't have to." And so he asks all the right questions to join in a co-op, but I try to get him to join up, and there's a whole bunch of problems because there's a patch, and we can't get ourselves. It takes forever to get ourselves loaded up into a game, and I think it's my fault for describing it wrong. And we finally did get it to work, and then afterwards, I read that the patch wasn't a good patch, and they were struggling. So I told them, like, we'll get together next week, and blah blah blah. And anyways, then today, Danny and he wasn't able to join for side reasons on this one, but Danny and I weren't going to wait any longer. We were just going to jump in and get some Elden Ring on, and the patch is broken again, which is not really, it's hard to blame the seamless co-op guys because they are trying to play catch up to the patches that are coming out from Elden Ring. And there was a new Elden Ring patch that came out within the last week or so. And then the patch from Seamless Co-op broke it again, so we can't get online. No matter how badly we want to play the new DLC, if we want to keep the game saves that we have and not go to regular Elden Ring, if we want to do Seamless Co-op, we have to wait for them to fix the patch.
Yeah, there's a problem with the matchmaking service at the moment, so it's affecting everybody, and we just can't connect and do online matchmaking. You're moving side to side in a very unnatural way. How are you managing to do this?
It's an earthquake.
That's great.
It's an earthquake affecting us. That's just an unknown. That is not an outright lie. Whatever you're thinking about being lied to is incorrect.
You have to do some ship shaking, like in Star Trek. You have to synchronize the. Anyway, so Elden Ring co-op is currently on hiatus until the matchmaking servers are fixed, and so on and so on. So
I'm sure it'll be soon. I'm sure that there's probably not much. When you start looking at all the threads online on Reddit and on Steam and everywhere, everyone's furious, probably threatening their family, and So I'm sure these guys that are working for free are sweating under the gun, and they're going to get the patch out for us soon for free.
It's not their fault. It's like you say, like the problem because it's a fresh DLC and there's just tons of updates getting pushed to it. Then every time there's an update, it breaks the mod. And I think because we kind of noticed in the last couple of episodes that things were getting a little bit broken, like desyncs were happening, and we were having to blah blah blah. So it's kind of
we had it pretty lucky for a while. There was not any updates before the DLC was coming out, and the updates that were coming out were really small. But now that there's the new DLC, they're having to patch up any things that Namco Bandai or Bandai Namco have messed up. So it's understandable, which is actually the same problem we're having with Fallout London. There was too many glitches for us to play it. They have a new patch. I haven't installed it yet, but we've been held up by not necessarily ourselves, but by that.
Yeah, Fallout London, to segue onto that, does now have a new patch, which should fix a lot of the issues that it launched with. Again, not entirely anyone's fault. It's just new games are usually buggy, and free games are no exception. So,
well, it's not just the free games, but they're dealing with the same thing. There have been updates from Fallout.
That 4. Did screw things up, really,
and that they had not anticipated that, and I'm sure that they're kind of backpedaling now to try to figure out how to get they had things probably in a much better scenario before the Fallout 4 the Fallout show came out, and
before the unexpected patch. It was that's the thing. I feel bad really because that
me too. I feel bad for those guys. That was rough.
And the problem was as well is like you don't want to release something that is broken. You don't want to release something that because they could have released it on time, but the only way to have played it would have been to downgrade a patch and do all this crazy stuff.
And nobody wants to downgrade their game. That's an extra step that's going to lose a lot of people from even playing it at all.
Well, a lot of people complained about it, but it was like, why don't you just release it anyway and let people choose to do that? But the problem is that if you want it to be accessible to people, so you want it to be a lot of people don't like to install mods. A lot of people don't feel confident doing that kind of stuff. That's kind of why we're doing what we do at Mod.io, right? It's trying to make it more accessible to people. The thing is that because this is a big mod, it was getting news coverage and it's mainstream popular. But if the segment of the audience, either one, doesn't feel confident installing it, or two, they try to install it and they just struggle and they break things, and because it's easy when you're in a technical kind of knowledgeable position like you and I, that we know what we're doing. But you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like even us, like we're not the experts at this, but like for a regular, just casual, ordinary person, like they're just gonna have a bad experience. They're gonna be like, I'm done with this, and then they're never gonna come back to it. So it's better to release it when it's in the easiest, just a one-click installer or whatever. Like
I just have to say, I am like just about ready to blush, Danny. You're the first person who has upgraded me into not a casual gamer. Like I'm pro now. This is great.
He's pro.
I'm not casual.
Well, I mean, what's the definition of professional? Anyone who's paid to play a video game is technically a professional. So, like, at one point, you were technically a professional. Technically, you're not anymore. You're now back into amateur status.
So casual.
So casual, man.
Like flip-flops casual.
I mean, you are wearing tie-dye, so, like, I don't really know what to say.
Sorry, I'm not professional.
It's very unprofessional. Any other updates?
But here's some really cool good news, and I'm really excited to play it. And maybe you and I can take a moment because it'll be an easy one you could jump in on. It's not early access, but it's access to the most recent released Five Nights at Freddy's game called Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. And I haven't played it yet, but it's like a side-scrolling Five Nights at Freddy's, and it looks pretty good.
Is it like a 2D platformer?
I think it is, but it could be elusive. I'm not exactly sure, but I got a copy of it, and I'm going to get to that today. But also, coincidentally, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was put on the PlayStation for the free game, one of the 3 free games of the month. And I started playing that just out of excitement to record the Into the Pit one. And holy shit, I think Security Breach is my favorite of the Five Nights at Freddy's games.
Really? Okay.
So far. It's so much fun. It's like really fun. It reminds me of Alien Isolation, but silly and like... still scary. It's got jump scares, but Alien Isolation. You've got not the symbiote. What is that? What they're called? Symbiote?
I don't recall, to be honest. But the thing that bursts out at you is what we're talking about.
The big alien. The big alien.
Yeah.
In this, it's all the different animatronics, and I have probably played it for about an hour. But I plan on first doing this game that I got not early access to, but current access to.
This sounds very much like an unknown, James. Like, it's an
unknown. But oh my god, I can't wait to play Security Breach more. It was so much fun. I kept doing the jump scares were crazy, and I'm playing in my little computer area, and Erin was like watching TV, and I kept jumping and then looking to see if she noticed me, and she didn't notice me jumping, but she kept noticing me like turning around and smiling at her. So I think I was coming across a little creepy, but what it was is I was like jumping, and then I was looking to see like, did anybody notice that I just about fell out of my chair?
She was
not seeing that part. She was
not selling it at all.
Well, I had headphones on. She couldn't see the screen. So she just saw me like I would jump, and then I'd look at her to see if she saw that I jumped, and then she'd just see me smiling. She's like, "What are you smiling at?" And I'm like, "Well, playing a game.
Cool. Well, so I guess we'll be releasing that in the next couple of days, maybe.
Yeah, if I get it done, I would like to get it up tomorrow because it's, time is of the essence. It's overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. It's hard for me to picture because it's side-scrolling. It's hard for me to picture what the hell this game's going to be like and why it's got such popular, but I'm going to find out today.
Nice. Cool. Is there what else do we need to talk about?
Well, I guess the one thing I'd like to talk about, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to you about it, and I don't know how much you're allowed to talk about it, but you're going to Gamescom next week.
I am.
Is there anything you're looking forward to seeing? I know that you're going there on business. You probably can't talk about what you're going there to work on, but is there anything that leisurely you're excited to see there?
Excuse me. My schedule is very busy this year, so but having said that, I always try and make the time to at least go away and just have a wander around all because the nice thing about Gamescom is it's kind of split into 2 areas. There's the B2C area, like the big fancy booths and all basically E3 on steroids. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the B2B sort of business area, which is where all the business happens. And normally I just stay in the business area, but I do try and make time to go and look at all the consumer halls. And the nice thing about Gamescom, or being in the industry, I should say, is that you can get in a day early before the public gets in, which is better for me because it's way quieter and like there isn't all the crowds and crowds of people and whatever. So I'll try and do that on the Wednesday. So I think I'll probably try and do what I did last year, which was I just live streamed walking around the whole place, which was pretty cool. And it worked surprisingly well, just using 5G off my phone. So I think the only difference this year is I've got a lavalier mic I'm going to pack and see if I can get that to work, just because the audio was a bit rough. And the other thing is, if I can get like a gimbal I can attach to my phone.
Yeah, you should definitely get a gimbal. Yeah. Those things are so awesome now. You got a nice phone, I assume. It looked like you were giving away a free phone that's better than most people's regular phones. That's
an old iPhone that I'm giving away on Facebook.
Yeah, but it's not that old, and it was nice of you to give it away. I can only imagine giving. Yeah, but it's a Pro. Like those cameras are pretty good. You could have theoretically just kept that phone.
Yeah, I should just take it with me and use that as the camera. Yeah, that's a really good point. Or maybe I'll look into it. Maybe I could use it as a second camera or something. Yeah, why don't I just use it as a second camera? Why am I giving it away to people?
Why are you giving it?
I don't know. Why am I giving it? I don't know. Anyway, by the by, yeah, so I'm going to try and do the live stream walk around again and try and just make it a little bit better, a bit more stable, bit better audio if I can. What I'm looking forward to, Stalker 2, just did a live stream the other day. And they'll have some updates, so I'm going to assume they'll have something there to check out. It would be nice to have a play on that. What else? There's all kinds of cool stuff coming out soon. Like I think Frostpunk 2 is coming out soon. Maybe they'll have a booth.
No. Frostpunk 2's been out for a while, I thought.
Has it? Okay.
I think it might be Frostpunk 3.
Okay, I'm going to plead ignorance. No, I think it's Frostpunk 2.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
I don't know what else kind of things are going to be there, to be honest. I don't know is there anything you'd want me to check out? Like if you were like, oh, please go and check this booth out. Is there something you want to see yourself or?
No. I don't even know what's going to be there. I'm just jealous that you're going to be there. Do you think next year, how much trouble do you think you'd get in if you took the week off? And then showed up at Gamescom and saw like your coworkers there as you were
I can't take the week off during Gamescom. It's the busiest week of the year, and I need to be there for all these reasons too. I wouldn't get the ticket to get in if I wasn't there working. So like I wouldn't, and respectfully, I wouldn't want to pay for a ticket to go to Gamescom. Not because I don't want to pay for a ticket, but because I've seen the queues to get in through the normal entrances. And there's this giant cage, huge cage, the size of a parking lot, which just snakes around, like a big queue thing. So all the way around there, all the way around the block, down round and I'm like, people crazy.
What are we looking at? The Queen's body come by? This is crazy.
It's that bad. It's that bad when people were queuing to see the Queen. Yeah, it's not quite as bad as that, but like seriously, like the queue is like I would die. I cannot physically whereas with my pass, I just go through the back entrance. I just beep it and walk in. It's done. It's so easy. Humble brag, but yeah, it's that's the only reason I would ever be able to go. Like I wouldn't be able to deal with that sort of craziness. But yeah, if anyone's got anything they want to see in the comments, then I'll try my best to get around to it. There's like an indie booth hall, which usually has a ton of indie stuff. Then there's usually like two very big halls with all the major. One's usually got like Xbox and Nintendo in it, and one's got like all the big AAA publishers in it. So, if there's anything specific people want to see, I'll try and get around to it. Can't promise anything, but I'll do my best.
All right, I think that's all the updates we have. Just to kind of get people back in the loop, we are planning on getting back into things. It's honestly been for the first time tech issues that are outside of our control, of patches and stuff like that.
I agree. Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to mention is, obviously, I think I mentioned it on a previous video, but we have a new feature on the website called Gaming Today, which isn't technically new, but it's newish. If you go to news.gamefront.com, all the gaming news from around the internet, because we can't be bothered to write it ourselves anymore, is all being...
We're allowed to if we had something we wanted to, right?
Yeah, of course. But yeah, if you go to news.gamefront.com, it's like you think of it as like MSN or Yahoo or something like that, where it collects all the gaming stuff from around the internet and just puts it all in one place. So it's just nice and convenient to find what the latest news are about news and stuff. Cool.
Oh, cool.
Right.
I love it. I'm looking at it now. I actually haven't been... I needed to look at this sooner. Sorry. But it's awesome!
Don't you like it? I was going to say, do we want to read a few comments? Maybe a few choice comments from people?
Might be tough to find those comments right now, considering there's so many to choose from.
I'm just going to cherry pick a few. It won't take long.
Okay.
I'm going to cherry pick the nice ones. This is from Resident Evil 15, and Pill Ag has said to us, nice, clean progress. And I just want to put that out there, that on the last Resi video, I made very nice, very clean progress. I just want people to know.
Bragger.
Also, I did want to tell Pill that he mentioned in like the previous video that the second repair kit, because remember we found the one underneath the house and we finally found that one. There's a second one on like a mannequin head with a cap on, and it's in the room where we found the red key cards. You know, when we opened the bed up and we went down in the thing, it's in there somewhere. So because we recorded,
I guess we were just so excited. We were just so excited finding that red key card that we didn't look around.
We missed it clearly, but like, yeah, we recorded those two videos together, so that's why. So I wasn't ignoring your comment from the previous video. It's just past me didn't know what present me knew, and therefore we'll get round to that in the next episode. What else is going on? Fallout London, the legend of Jimmy the Hoarder continues. You should never stop picking up trash, James.
I told you that's what they were saying.
Well, that's what Steve's saying, but I'm fairly sure Steve is just trying to...
Everybody says it.
I'm fairly sure Steve is just trying to wind me up at this point. And Mr. Cathlands says that James is going to be the king of Gamefront once he breaks Danny. So I don't know if that is your plan, to just kind of slowly get rid of everybody until you're the only one left. That might be the case. And then... Pill does have an even better explanation. This is probably going to launch a 10-minute debate, but an even better explanation of why you shouldn't hoard everything. James' logic is one man's trash is another man's treasure, so that's kind of your approach. But Pill points out that if you have money, so like a 1-to-10 ratio thing is for making more of it, you can buy a whole bunch of trash and even something actually useful. But if you keep picking up trash, then you might as well have a bulge in your pants and otherwise just cluttered inventory. So there's no need to overcomplicate things. Just multiply the weight of an item by 10, and if the result is more than the value, then you throw it away. Does that make sense?
When I see you or myself struggle with too much inventory, I will start to consider downsizing. But as of now, I've got tons of room in my inventory. I have extra space. So why not? And then as soon as I get somewhere, I'm going to sell all that garbage for not a lot of money, but some money. And I'm going to buy better garbage then.
Okay. We're never going to win this debate, but I like that concept of taking the value, multiplying it by 10, and then seeing if the number is bigger than the value. And then that is a good system. It's very simple to understand as well. So if the value is 1, and if the value is 10 and the weight is 1 times 10 is 10. So that's the same. So that might be okay. But if the value is 5 and 1 times 10 is 10, then you wouldn't pick it up because 5 is less than 10.
Well, it sounds a little too simple. I, as a sophisticated man, I look for sophisticated answers.
Me too. Crispy says maybe we could swap who's playing every now and again. James makes terrible choices. I think he hit a limit at about 40 minutes. That's rough. That's rough stuff.
I thought you said you were going to cherry pick these.
Yeah, not that nice to me. Not that nice to you.
Jesus. All right, ban him. Ban him.
Ban him. Bye, Crispy. You done? And then I had to reply. I said that I enjoyed it recently in Resident Evil 7 when James pointed out that I had no heals left, so I transferred 2 out of my storage, and he complained that I was going to use them. It's true. We probably shouldn't be doing that. Okay, we probably shouldn't. And then the most recent Elden Ring, which was the one with Morgan on it, which it was nice to have Morgan back for a little while. And I think people were into it. We had a whopping 32 comments on that video. Huge numbers. But I can't read all of them out. So, but yeah, maybe we should try and get more Morgan on soon, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like a really smart plan. Let's just get Morgan back more.
Get Morgan back. Mikael Rose is like, can we please trade in James for Morgan? No, I'm roasting you again. Sorry, that's not fair.
This is insane. I'm here. I can not only can I hear you, you're talking to me.
These people are crazy, man. You don't want to listen to what they're saying. I don't agree with anything that they say. I just want to be clear about that. But people did ask if Morgan has a DLC stream up somewhere, so we probably should say that he does have his own channel now on Twitch and YouTube called Not Morgan 1337. So if you go there, I think he is he still playing Elden Ring DLC, or has he moved on?
He's playing Flintlock.
Flintlock.
It looks really freaking cool. It looks like I don't know. It kind of looks like a 1700s Dark Souls. There's guns in it.
That sounds cool.
It looks like Flintlock means guns, and or I don't know. It
well,
looks
it's like a flintlock pistol. I guess it means. Is it like pistols?
Maybe like Bloodborne. Maybe it's like the Bloodborne alternative to.
Did Bloodborne have guns?
Yeah, Bloodborne had guns. You didn't.
I've
play
never
Bloodborne?
played it. No. I barely played Dark Souls.
I wonder if you can play Bloodborne through the PlayStation Plus, like cloud gaming. Because they have it. It is free to play. I mean, I have it, but
can't remember if it's Bloodborne or Demon Souls. Should I have a look? PS Now.
Well, Demon Souls is definitely on there, but it's not cloud. I don't know. I don't think it's cloud gaming. The Bloodborne game is from the PS4, and you can just stream it just through the cloud, which would make me think if you were paying for the PlayStation like cloud service that you could probably play it.
They've got Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach on there.
On what? On the cloud gaming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game is fun.
But I'm just seeing if they've got Bloodborne under B. They do. Bloodborne. There is Bloodborne. And then there's some DLC I guess you could buy separately.
And you don't need a PlayStation for it? You can just play it on your...
I assume that you'd just be able to stream it. I think, £15.
Hey.
So you have to buy it. PS
oh, yeah.
Wait.
PS... No.
I might be looking at the wrong... So I think that's the PS4 version. I don't know if you can stream it or not. But maybe we should... Maybe I'll tell you a story. Oh, hang on. You can officially play Bloodborne on PC using PlayStation Now without owning a PlayStation. So yes,
nice.
You can do that.
We could play it together. We could do... I think that you can do co-op. I've never beaten Bloodborne, but I've played a bunch of it. It's hard. It is very hard.
The first comment is, the lag is unbearable, even with fiber internet.
Oh.
The last time I tried PS Now, it wasn't working very well. However... That was way back in 2020 or something like that when I had slightly less good internet. And also I think I was trying it on a laptop. So maybe it would be better now, or I don't know. I'd have to try it. But yeah, like if it's like laggy, and because I think the thing with Souls likes is you kind of need as little input lag as possible. Do you not? Like,
listen, that might be true, but there's a guy that I know who played remotely through my computer over the internet using Parsec. His name is Morgan Summer Christensen. And if he can handle that lag, I'm sure you can handle whatever lag the cloud gaming has from PlayStation Network. Because I was running a network cable through a tin can, and he was able to play and do better than I was. And I was sitting right here at the source.
Did a nuclear explosion just go off in your living room? Like you went really bright, and then you went, oh, it's because you're changing things on your monitor. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. We might, so I don't want to promise things again because people have been asking for Bloodborne for a very long time, but maybe we'll try it and see if it works, and then maybe we'll start doing a Bloodborne playthrough, maybe. Very maybe. Very no definite guarantees, but maybe. But again, just leave a comment if you want to see Bloodborne. I know you're going to say yes, because that's just how that works, but like, you know. Cool. Any parting shots you want to take on me before we close this out?
I'm just grateful that you joined me today for this Gamefront
update.
Gamefront.
Nice. I'm not doing it again. Okay, bye everybody.